We'll go head-to-head in perfect waves. We know for a fact it will be perfect at the WSL Surf Ranch. Chris Cote here with Pete Mel. We've got an international superheat, Willian, Cardoso, Frederico, Morais, and Michael February. 3 surfers who you would say maybe 3 of the least tested out here at Teahupo'o.
As a professional surfer, surfing is something where you go and you chase waves that are just like this. Take a look at Frederico Morais on his first wave here. I mean, literally right off the hooter. Great ability. It comes from an area that has some slabbing waves, so he knows how to read that heavy water. And how is the whip? So straight into it, going into maneuvers. We've seen a lot more barrels scoring higher. Obviously, that last heat of Felipe, and what a performance, by the way.
Felipe Toledo right there proving the Disraeli quote. Diligence is the mother of good fortune. You put in the time, you will reap the rewards. Let me get to round 1, heat 7. Federico Morais back at it. His backhand always explosive and on point. 3 big turns as he makes the quick escape through that inside shallow section that comes up quick.
And that's, you know, one of his fortes is that he'll get in a pendulum, in a rhythm. He does it on his forehand all the time. That's why he's had such great success at places like Sapn Rocks and especially at J-Bay. But he's got the same kind of rhythm on the backhand as well. You know, and look at it, he just straight combination of major moves. He's gone to maneuvers too, and I think that that's something that's kind of nice to see, that he is not going to play into like what happened to the previous heat. You shouldn't worry one bit, but he is going to come up against one of the tough wild cards.
Willian Cardoso now on his backhand. He'll go to turns as well, and they'll be big. 2 vicious hacks for Cardoso. Throws in a third. You can see that what he's squaring up for on each and every bottom turn was looking to see if the lip was going to create that cylinder. He's hunting the tube right there, but I wouldn't say settling for turns because those were 3 big, meaty backside hooks from Cardoso. Looking down the line and seeing what is going to be on offer on this wave.
Let's take a look at the replay here. In the very first section, didn't have that section, but right here, he kind of sat back and waited to see if it was going to come up and start to barrel. And even here, but I think more than anything, it was the timing. He is so good on his backhand. This is what we saw at Uluwatu. He was able to pace himself off the bottom and pick the spot, was the most critical section, and almost come from behind it and take that section. It's a way to read the bottom, to line yourself up on the reef.
Yeah, another unique element of this wave. Not a lot of competitive venues on the planet that give you those markers, literally grooves in the reef. You know, these reef scars when you get dragged across live coral reef. Usually does not end well.
Willian trying to back up his first score, which actually came out pretty solid. Again, that's that strategy you see happen. You're sitting outside third priority, so you want to quickly pick up a wave, hoping that it's going to eventuate into something that's going to give you some critical sections and maybe some maneuvers. Surfing was going to translate to the championship tour much easier, being that he's just got these big turns. He's performed in Hawaii. Like, all of those things have been, in my eyes, been ticked. Probably harder for him to qualify than it is on the QS than it is to actually stay qualified on the CT, just because of the way he surfs. The power, just the big surfing.
We're utilizing the power game here. Willian Cardoso. Willian has been on, kind of, I would say, off and on the championship tour. He's had some call-ups.
Well, this is, I mean, yeah, he's had experience, but never
full time.
There was some huge numbers that came on the championship tours. We watched this replay here, but again, another surfer that was getting off the QS onto the CT. You're going to see performances rise on this championship tour because his surfing fits it. Fits that criteria, fits the venues.
With 14:55, here we go, our first look at Michael February on his backhand. Casually taking the high line. He's been kind of far out onto the open face on that whole wave. So again, you look at speed control there. I mean, the style, the flow, everything is there with Michael February, but just didn't really get that deep stall to give himself enough.
That opportunity for that wave had a much higher number than it's probably going to get. You know, there was the point here where he could have really stalled and been way back there, and and then come out of the top. Instead, it was a quick in and out. So the speed control is so essential, like you had said. It's more about slowing down. It's like right at this point, being able to hold himself deeper in the barrel. So the quick in and out, he never really disappeared. You know, you want to completely disappear from the, this is like a judge's angle. This is more front on.
Love to see a surfer come out of oblivion. And we've yet to see that in this heat. But the wind-ups are coming. Now, this is what you'd see if you were in the channel. You'd be watching Willian Cardoso.
Quick one there for him. Up on his surfboard, dragging himself to slow down. But too far up, and then curled the nose when he came out. And then look at here, again, speed control, slowing down everything he can just to hold himself in the barrel. You know, experimenting with the amount of time spent in the barrel.
So sitting on a 617 and a 467. Here we go, Michael February up late, straight into the pit. Rides out. A nice late drop. Beautiful recovery for Mikey February. Not a long wave, not a big wave, but the technicality of that tube ride, I think will get the attention of the judges.
For sure. Whereas here, underneath it and just drop straight into the barrel. That's a great technique for speed control. Just get in the barrel right away. Comes out, maximize that tube time, gets a maneuver done as well. So this is a number that's going to help him out. I love it though. Look at underneath the ledge. You want to do that kind of same style of surfing, whether it's this 2-foot wave all the way up to 10 foot.
Well, that added a lot of drama to a wave that didn't really have dramatics on offer, but the way he surfed it and put himself, I mean, deeper than it should have been possible. 8 minutes, 28 seconds to go, and here he is again. Michael February answering back. Dragging it on his backhand. Into the pit, comes out. Nice little spirit cave for Michael February with a clean entrance and exit. I'm interested now to see what that second wave is going to get.
How quick did that happen, right? He had priority. He was able to get that one score with the late drop into it, and then this one on the corner of the channel gets it. Those guys were too far outside, and he was able to pick up on it just in the positioning of where he was. This time having the speed control not perfect, where he was able to slow himself down before he got in the barrel and disappeared from view. So it's going to be a better number than we saw from the 243. Those guys let that wave go by because they didn't see the scoring potential there in order to build on their own scores.
Here goes Frederico Morais on his backhand. Just the solid fundamentals. He goes into a third blistering hook on his backhand, adds a fourth, straight onto the dry reef. That's where you really got to get weightless. You see the boils coming up. It's literally 4 inches deep right there. And he's basically on his hands and knees on the reef right there, just getting right to the edge, getting back on his board. But that was a risky last turn for Frederico.
And he felt like he needed it in order to lift his 5.3, which is his low score. Going to maneuvers once again. Beautiful first turn, snapping second. Kind of had to get down the line, so he had to cut that one short. Beautiful turn there. Again, cutting it short, though, to make sure that he goes overcommits on that maneuver. He can either fall or he'll lose that last opportunity for that final section. Obviously, that's the reason why we see him getting a start here with the late pullout from Kelly Slater, so Mikey Wright was able to get himself an opportunity, but he sits as the #1 seed in the red jersey. Matt Wilkinson, who is a title contender for the past couple of years, sits in the white jersey, which is the low seed, and he has had a horrible year.
15 seconds on the clock.
And no waves. So, I mean, again, no harm, no foul, really. It's going to be Federico with his first 2 waves. He's going to take a heat win. And what a strategy, right? Just going to turns right away, and here he is taking a round 1 win and moves straight into round 3.
Yeah, he left it pretty close there. 11-16 on total for Frederico Morais. Cardoso with a 10.84. February right there with a 10.80.